All right. People are going to probably show up here in the next minute or two. I mean, literally, people jump in, but we broadcasted this and advertised it all over the place. Like, I got like 1,700 views on Twitter for it, and everybody's asking me about it. So, you know the name of the game.
Well, I advertised today also on Quora everywhere I could, and I did send personal messages to join. So we'll see what happens.
I just seen it. I jumped on Facebook, looked, and I seen y'all were having a meeting, and I seen it was today, and I'm off work today, so I can finally get a chance to sit down and talk to y'all and see what's going on. I haven't talked to y'all in, it's been a while. I mean, just here and there, sporadically, David. But yeah, it's good to sit down and be able to talk, catch up on things.
How are you doing, Stephen, today? You're muted for some reason.
Yes.
What is it?
Oh, he muted himself.
Hi, Stephen. We try to advertise as much as possible. David had about 1,700 hits on Twitter, people asking, and I was advertising today also trying to get people in. So I don't know what's going on so far. We had a couple more people in. They, for some reason, jumped out.
I have to adjust my audio here. Go ahead.
Yeah. You'll have that on these bigger jobs. This will give them. You want to give them a little bit, Steve, or what?
Well, I'm trying
Yeah,
to
we
find the settings because right now you're going out over the monitor and that's not really too good.
So he's trying to adjust his sound settings so he can do. So let's give him a couple
That's fine.
minutes to do that.
All right, I got it fixed.
Well, Stephen, I can tell you one thing. I've been attacked a lot by trolls on Quora, but since I started reposting your stuff on Quora, since I started posting your stuff on Quora, my armies of trolls had back off of me.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either. And nowadays, I tell everybody who is being trolled on Quora, I said, start posting Stephen D. Kelly stuff about Occupy Getty. And one of the young ladies who's basically Quora removed her name due to false accusation. After that suggestion, her name was returned to being posted again that same afternoon. So certainly your stuff is working very well.
Well, we're banned, so people take a lot of risk even posting or anything, the word even.
Well, personally myself, I don't care about any. I'm protected. There's been so many attempts on my life that it's a normal day in my office. I could care less. I'm gonna live life and I'm gonna post whatever I want. Hi, Mary. Hi, another Mary, and who else we have? Glad you guys are coming in.
Oh yeah, they're starting to fill up now.
Is he a TI?
Who's that?
The guy.
Well,
why don't you guys fill him in? I'll be right back.
That one right there.
okay. Well, technically, yeah. Technically, yeah. He used to be a CA contractor. He is a brilliant laser scope specialist. You know, he's done organizing production and all kinds of things. He was also, I think, an NSA contractor. He's been threatened. He's been for last 10 years very heavily involved with Occupy Getty mission. He's actually the leader of Occupy Getty mission. And if you know about Getty, here is basically that is a fortress connected to underground dams all underneath LA and all over the world. They do have about 100,000 children who are being abused under there. And I think about 6 years ago, he filed FBI report about that, and actually nobody ever bothered to respond or do anything about that. And
That
if
does
that would not
surprise
have been
me.
true, what he said, he would have been facing lawsuits from Getty and FBI, but obviously that is not happening because that is true. And here is also a British throne underneath the Getty, and as you know, British royalty is ruling pretty much whole world. All right, here is obviously I don't know all the details, and Stephen D. Kelly does know all these. He can explain all that, but certainly fighting that could
All
help us
true.
finish targeting. He's also a Reiki master, and a lot more. So you are back, Stephen. I will let you take over.
Take over. Are you guys, are you, first of all, hi. Occupied a Getty 23, huh? Hey guys, so anyway, Richard, you're the boss. Say something. Or David,
Yes, sir.
you're the guy. This is your meeting, man.
All right. Everybody that doesn't know, my name is David Morrow. I'm a targeted individual. My targeting's been going on for quite some time. I'm one of the heavier targets in this. I guess their operation and plans, because there's a lot of material and operations that they used on me that they haven't used on a lot of other people, which is open killing. And they didn't hesitate to do all this to me. And they were really sloppy about trying to cover it up because I have a boatload of evidence. And I formed a group. We're now a targeted nation. We're trying to move into a nonprofit, kind of like how Targeted Justice did, except for we're not going to take any donations from people. And the material and any kind of information that we have is going to be public. And we're going to try to help as many as targeted individuals and people in the public to wake up to this and expose it, along with the Getty, what's going on there with the human trafficking and the reality of the situations that are going on in our country and around the world, that we're being lied to and everything's being hidden from us, and especially what they're doing with our tax paying money. There's a lot that we don't know. We never would have guessed why this is happening to us, why they go after certain people and they don't go after other people. Well, it's because we're awake to all this stuff, and we're special cases compared to other people. We're a little bit more outspoken. There's things about us that we have that other people don't have. That's why they're interested in us in this program, because it ain't just random. There's a lot of factors involved in this, and Stephen knows a lot of this, and a lot of this that I did speculate on as being facts are facts that he can elaborate on further as we go on to this. This is being recorded, so it'll definitely be out there for everybody to see it. So more of the public can be aware of this, to know what's going on and how this operation exists and continues to exist. Especially what's going on in the Getty. That's one of our main focuses we need to look at and try to devise some sort of plan of action. And that way we can definitely try to put into this program that they have going on here, our United States government and the world government. And with that being said, here's Stephen Kelly. I'll let you have the floor, Steve. It's good to have you again.
Yeah, all right. Well, I know this is a meeting for, targeted individuals. And like Benjamin there was asking, is this guy TI all that? I don't think we called it TI. We called him, you're paranoid, or why are there guys in my bushes staring at me in the nighttime and making the dogs bark and stuff, crazy stuff like that. It's just one of those things. Yeah, there's a lot of people targeted for torture, targeted for lots of reasons, because either they're related to somebody, they're arbitrary, somebody's got a grudge, their nationality, whatever. They've got all kinds of reasons for doing this. My reason was a lot of different reasons. that I still don't understand, but a lot of those guys I find out now are hiding in the bushes and doing all the phone taps and playing this, Men in Black stuff and all that are these Templars. And again, I think, the reason why you're having me here, I think, is because this mission, of course, which is Occupy the Getty, and Occupy the Getty, it's simple. It kind of explains what it's all about, but the reality of it is to just expose this one thing and put as much effort as we can, as many people as we can, as much energy as we can into this one simple thing, because it's not the only bunker. It's not the only entrance. It's not the only place where they're sacrificing children and instigating all this torture and everything that everybody's going through. But the thing is that it's the place where destiny says we take them out just because we pointed out that this thing exists. And that's really what this is all about. And the enemy knows we do this. I mean, I've sat down face to face with the damn enemy about and talked about this stuff. And they flat out say that they know they can't stop this. And they know that this ends them. And these are the guys responsible for every heinous, crappy thing that they've been doing to humans since recorded history and beyond. Okay, so and for whatever reason, I get to be fortunate enough to be the guy that's motivated to drive this one silly mission, and I'll spend the rest of I got at least maybe 10 years left of my life to do this, and hopefully we'll do it before that's over. But if we don't, I know we've planted the seeds and paved the way and inspired a whole bunch of people, and the flames have been lit. These fires that we're stoking are not going to go out. And the more people we're talking about it, the hotter it's going to get. And the sooner they're going to have to admit and they're going to have to cave in. They know we win. They know we win this. And that doesn't mean they're going to stop eating children or torturing people anytime soon. And if anything, they're going to step it up because they know it's almost over. But that doesn't stop the fact that we are going to win. So, and they know that, and they're starting to sweat and they're starting to get scared. And they're, like I said, they're trying to kill everybody off with COVID and World War III and nuclear bombs, et cetera. And we're doing everything we can to stop that. I mean, the threats are pretty big. Trust me. It's like, and we do all our work in the astral, and I don't want to ramble, but I'm just trying to tell you guys that, there's a reason why this one mission is going to end it all. And no matter who we are or how we're being attacked or what our interest is, I mean, obviously people that are being attacked and tortured have a personal interest in seeing this stop. Me personally, for me, this is kind of like revenge. And I know a lot of the TIs work under this concept too. They screwed you so much, screwed up your family, took your money, took your job, took your friends, took your reputation, took all this stuff. It's endless. They took almost everything from me, of course, except I depend on people. And if I didn't have people supporting me, I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't have this microphone. I wouldn't have the internet to be talking to you right now, or the clothes I'm wearing or whatever, this green thing here behind me. It all comes from somebody. So they can't stop me, but they've tried, but they can't kill me. Just like they're not able to kill you guys. They can torture you, make you miserable, but they're not going to kill you, and I think the most powerful thing that I learned after that, I had to learn it the hard way, is to not have any fear of these people, because after a while you realize he's getting gas. They can't get you, they'll take everything away from you.
Yes.
They'll screw with your brain, right? But ultimately, we have more power, especially now. How's that for a start?
They've tried like hell for sure. They make you think you're going to die.
You get over it.
Yeah, I have.
I'm definitely a TI for torture purposes, and I've been through it all. It's been 4 years now, and I've done everything under the sun to try to bring light to the situation. I've wrote hundreds of letters. I filed an AF-102 with the Air Force. I filed an IC-3 with the FBI, a DD-2949 with the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Department of Defense. I
Did you ever
filed
get a response?
none,
Yeah.
not one. I called the
Not one?
FBI. Nope. I called the FBI and they hung up the phone on me. And when I called back and said, "Hey, this guy just hung up the phone on me," he said, "Oh yeah," and he hung up. And he hung up. again. This is the
Oh,
FBI.
wow.
That's real shit.
Hey, you guys, I had the FBI at my door a couple weeks ago. Did you guys know that? You
No.
probably heard
No.
about it, right? A few of you
Not
heard
yet.
about it.
I
What
heard that.
happened?
I watched your video with Renetta. I heard about that.
Well, yeah, they were there right before we were getting ready to do the video, and they showed up.
I wish they'd show up to my door.
What are you gonna do? I mean, the
Talk to them.
whole purpose of them showing up at your door is to drag you away, and everything you say they will use against you just for that purpose.
Actually, you guys, you probably need to find that video and share, and you need to do some learning experience from that. Because Steve not open the door, he spoke to them through the screen door, so they could not barge in and just haul him away. And that is a good learning experience.
Well, yeah, I learned too. But yeah, if you don't have a metal door on your front door and you open your door, first of all, you don't open your door. But I was taken by surprise. I wasn't expecting the FBI. I thought it was a solicitor, and I opened the door anyway just to kind of be polite. My mistake. And there they were. But the purpose.
What did they say?
What did they say?
Yeah, what did they say?
Well, first of all, there was a tall young white guy, and then there was this short little Chinese girl, and the Chinese girl was in the front, and they're both wearing black. And immediately she's trying to be all aggressive and ask me questions about if I ever said that I was going to end the United States government and all other governments, and there was nothing that the CIA, NSA, or FBI could do to stop me. And I could go on and say that also that that it was mentioned that they were impotent to stop me. So apparently, according to them, somebody complained about this. There was a video that was actually in a meme or a video that went out recently. And so they said, "Did you say that?" And I said, "Do you have a recording of me saying that?" And they said, "No." And they said, "Oh, well, then it's false." Because if they don't have a recording of you saying it, you didn't say it. Right? It doesn't matter if it's written down and your face is next to it and they got your name underneath it. It's not proof that you said it. And even then, I don't know if the laws, how they work around memes and this sort of thing. I think it's pretty fuzzy. But and then they also asked me if I intended to commit treason. And I said, define treason. Okay, well, that shut that down, of course, because they couldn't define treason. And they also asked me if I was working for a foreign government, if I had worked for a foreign government, specifically Iran. And I told them that I had been a political correspondent or geopolitical correspondent for Press TV. And of course, the young guy, you remember these guys are young, and they're looking at me, they're thinking, I smell pot. This guy's got long hair. What the hell? He's just some whatever. And they're thinking they're all that because they went to the academy and they've got their little, the credentials and all that. So they're all full of themselves. And this his ego got a hold of him. He goes, well, what qualified you to be a geopolitical correspondent for Press TV? And I said, well, I'm an ex-CIA NSA contractor. And of course, the guy scoffed at that. He's like, yeah, sure, in your mind or something like that. You know what I mean? He made some stupid comment, like in your dreams, something of this nature. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then I said, well, I was recruited by Don Nixon, Richard Nixon's nephew, he worked for Robert Vesco. And I said, okay, make sure you guys write that down. Vesco, right? Robert Vesco. And I figured that more than likely these guys were wired. They had somebody, because they brief these people. They have a little meeting. They probably got a whole room with pictures of me and crap, and they sit down and have little briefings. And they said, okay, you two, you're going to go out there. And everybody was listening to what was being said. And as soon as I started talking about Robert Vesco, they're like, oh, they got all upset and started trying to change the subject. And the girl was trying to start a fight. She was trying to get me agitated. She was being really rude and interrupting me and all this stuff. And just asking me stupid questions. Like after I said I was a contractor for the CIA, she's like, well, how long did you work for the CIA? When did you start and when did you stop? And I said, hold on. First of all, I said contractor. Do you understand contractor? You have a contract. You're not getting a paycheck. It's different. And I was kind of becoming kind of insulting. Like, for instance, if this girl was getting agitated, she wasn't speaking properly, I'd say, I'm sorry, could you say that in a complete sentence? Just kind of, and then she'd have to stop and repeat herself nice and slow, so you can make them do it. But yeah, you got to have that metal door between you and them. Otherwise, they're just going to grab you, say you were belligerent, and who knows what. But the thing is towards the end there, when I started talking about the CIA and all that stuff, I asked them, well, I made a comment. I said, they said something, oh yeah, we know you've got a podcast and all that. I go, oh, well, you also know that I filed a report with your human trafficking division about the 100,000 children under the Getty that you're yet to investigate. And she's like, oh, well, we don't need to tell anybody what we investigate or what we're not investigating. That's privileged and all this. And that was about when things got shut down and they kind of started to run away. And I challenged the guy and I said, hey, there's a body buried in my neighbor's yard. And I say there's a body buried in my neighbor's yard. Are you going to look? Are you going to investigate? Of course you are. Somebody's going to dig it up. You're not going to, I don't have to provide proof. That's on me if it's not there. Same damn thing applies to Getty. By this time they're running away. And I kind of yelled at him. I kind of gave the guy crap because I said, oh, what, is she your boss? Well, I gave her crap because obviously she was a psychology student. All these little girls, they go through, take psychology in school and they don't know what to do with it except go work in law enforcement. And that was her job. Her job was to come, be a little psych major and try to screw with my head and come back and say, well, this guy's aggressive. He's crazy. He's this, he's that. And I kind of turned it around on her and made her look crazy and aggressive and all that. But as they ran away, I kind of yelled at him and I said, you guys are pedophile enablers. You work for Satan. And I made sure I was yelling it loud enough. I wanted the neighbors to hear. They see the FBI running away from my front door. I want the neighbors to hear me calling them pedophile enablers. No mistake about that. So, and they got to carry that home with them. And I think that when they got their stupid little briefing, that whoever briefed them left out the part about me and the CIA and the NSA and all that, and Don Nixon, et cetera, and this is why they can't deal with me, because I'm too radioactive. I know too much. I've been there. I work for Oliver North. I know all their dirty secrets. I got dirt on every single one of these politicians practically and everybody else. So it's like, yeah. Well, I see gas fumes coming up from your camera there, dude. That is trippy. Or I should say diesel. Anyway, who's that down there? Ed? Ed. All right. So anyway, that's the thing. You guys got any questions or anything like that? Just for the sake of the audience. I mean, whoever else is out there might want to hear something I'm not talking about. You want to hear about Men in Black? You want to hear the Men in Black story?
Sure. I also would like to hear more about British throne underneath Getty.
About the about what underneath the Getty?
British throne underneath
Oh,
Getty.
about the throne. Oh, geez. Wow. Well, okay. Well, let's just look at the monarchy situation right now. And everybody knows Charles is, forget it. I mean, he's He's pathetic. And even if you thought for a second that the Windsors were legitimate heirs to this crown, they're not. They're not even close. And you can't talk about that. You can't go back and you can't say they're Franks. They're related. They're from Charlemagne. They have nothing to do with Britain, and on and on and on. You can't say this. And so the thing is that, and mostly important is that Diana, she served her purpose. She made it all legitimate, and she created two boys who are legitimate royals. However, each one of those boys, now, whether or not Kate Middleton, if she's a valid royal, I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical. She's no Diana. And I don't even think that the baby that she had, supposedly, she had, I think that was a surrogate situation. I think this is probably a Rothschild baby. I think they did something funny there. I think it was very obvious. I think they did it in front of everybody's face. The way all the maternity nurses had all these Masonic symbols all over the place, so I don't trust that. So right away we know that the bloodline is going to end with Charles, unless those boys. And here's the thing: Harry, even though Harry is not even related to Charles, he still has as much royal blood as the other one, William, because of the mother. Because the mother's blood is the only thing that matters. So him marrying that girl, he's screwed. Unless he finds someone else, another woman that has actual royal blood, it's gone. That royal line's gone. Same thing with William. Those children that are coming from Kate, I don't even believe they're from her. I think they're from somebody else. So that's probably gone. Now, as far as the throne under the Getty, you've got to understand, this goes back to whatever, 1300, 1500, I think it was 1300, and King John, when he signed the Magna Carta, when he was forced to sign the Magna Carta, it all goes back to that. So all these players that everybody likes to bitch and point fingers about are all the same players we have today. They're all on the Magna Carta. They all work to the same contract, and the Magna Carta is the basis for this entire governance of the world, of which the crown is at the top. Whether people like it or not, they go, oh, it's the Vatican, oh, it's the Jesuits, oh, it's the Rothschilds. No, it's the crown. Everybody else is beholden to the crown. It's just the way it's set up. Technically, they're all equal, but the crown is in charge. So everybody wants to be in charge of the crown. And at this point, they don't even care if the royal bloodline is legit, as long as they're sitting on the throne and they're running the crown. They've got that crown. That's where it's at right now. The royal bunker underneath the Getty, of course it's the royal bunker, because it's got all the art. I mean, it's like if you were the king or you were the queen, you would want your palace to have all the art in the world, all the art in the Western world. You would want it there, and that's where it is. That's where the Vatican Library is. That's where it all is. This stone that he has to sit on when he gets coronated belongs in Scotland. This stuff's all ceremonial. But the deep, dark rituals that go on under the Getty, that's where the elders are. So technically, even though the crown runs this earthly corporation, you have to remember that ultimately the real king is the one that they're waiting for, the one that they think is going to be the Antichrist, but the one who is actually the Christ, who's going to come back and take it, not be anointed by the learned elders of Zion, but it's going to take it. That's what this mission's all about. So in other words, this is my philosophy. These elders, these guys that control the world, these are the deep, dark elders that decide who the Antichrist is going to be and what the laws are going to be. I mean, it's, if you read the protocols of the learned elders of Zion, you'd know all this, but basically they're preparing everything for this so-called king of Zion, this despot, this great king that's coming. And this great king that's coming is the one that's going to sit on this throne. So how is that related to King Charles? tenuously, but everyone would love to be the one. Everyone, I mean, there's a lot of people that would like to be the one. Jared Kushner would like to be the one. William would like to be the one. Harry would like to be the one. Harry is trying very hard to be the one right now because Harry is over there in LA. He knows very well where the throne is. He's kissing up to Gordon Getty because he knows who to kiss up to. And he's letting Meghan shack up with Gordon. Now, you guys haven't heard about this, perhaps, huh?
I have.
Okay, well, Meghan Markle, on more than one occasion, has gone to the Beverly Hills Hotel or whatever and spent quite a bit of time in a suite with Gordon Getty. And this is, Hollywood rumor, but you can't hide stuff like this. And everyone says, why is she doing this? Because she wants a house. And why does she want a house? Because she wants something to connect her to the Getty bunker because they're trying to get their foot in there. They're trying to get their nose in there so that Harry can slip his way in there because right now he's on the outside. The only way he's going to get back in is by letting Gordon Getty screw his wife. That's what's going on right now. So you can see what's important if you look. I mean, obviously they don't want you to look. And that's why we're trying to shine as much light on this as possible. And you don't have to know all these details. It's not important. You don't have to know what's down there. All you have to know is that we win if we do this. And the only way we win is if we put everything we got into it and make this bigger than us. That's really what this is all about. So
Would you like to tell audience how did you come into this? What this is your big mission.
Yes, it is my mission, but I'm sorry, what else did you say before that?
No. How did you come into this to become your big mission of life?
Well, they did it.
I listened to your book, but I think other ones don't know that.
All right. Well, let me just say this. I knew something was wrong with this. I was already in a war with them. They were already my enemy. They were already trying to get me out to Area 51. They already had screwed up my family and all my company and everything else. So I was already technically at war with them, and they exposed themselves with this bunker business. And it wasn't until they tried to coerce me. Hell, just the NSA, they blew it when they told me about how they kill people and thinking that was going to be okay. No, it's not okay. And it's the same thing with the Getty. When I finally got to the point to where they wanted me to work with them, and then it comes out that they reserve the right to kill everybody, and they think that I should feel the same way, and that you're not hip if you don't think everyone else is just trash that needs to be destroyed. That's the whole issue. And I don't think that's fair. And whether or not somebody is better than somebody else is irrelevant. It's still not fair. One human, even if they think they're superior, doesn't get to decide what happens to all the other humans. And that was the whole issue for me. And this is why I said, screw that. I'm going to do what I can to defend everyone else. So, but they're the ones, they told me that I end them, and I knew that focusing on them was going to do that. And they don't really know. They always thought that I was going to get a big army together and we were going to storm that thing and we were going to take it over by force. Like the QAnon people would have you think is actually going on. No, that's not how it's working at all. What we are going to do is we're going to get everybody in the world talking about it if we can. And we're going to force them to basically give up because they're so afraid everybody's going to come and cut their head off. And I'll tell you, the only way that's going to happen is they've got to come to me. That's what this is all about, because so far I'm the only human out of 8 billion that has decided that this is how we fix this thing. And the only people who've come along so far that even try to act like they're involved are people like Allie Carter and what have you that are actually working for them. So there's no capitulation. There's no halfway measures. there's no white hats that are going to blow it all up and everything's okay. It's all or nothing. They give up. Gold comes up, technology comes up, victims come up. No more Satan crap, no more torture, no more none of this. No more pollution, no more chemtrails. I got chemtrails over my head right now. You know, tell me the white hats are doing something. They're not. And the only way we're going to end all this crap once and for all is this mission, once and for all. Because all their little, you got to understand, they have all the money in the world and then some. They have more money than what we know exists. And they can take that money and they can buy anybody they want, and they can pay for anything and technology and do all this crap, just incredible crap that they do to us. And what do we do? What do we got? You know, well, we got a lot, but we got to work together to do it. And it just so happens that we found their weakness. This is the weakness. This is the only weakness, is this one thing. And not only is it their weakness, they know it's their weakness because they've seen it. They've seen the future. These are people that try to do everything. They try to manipulate the future, and they know that they cannot manipulate their way out of this. They know they're screwed. They know it's over, you know, and it's just up to us. So every day that I can tell more people and more people can join my group and can, you know, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, it's like TIs, you know, everybody, TIs have all got one thing in common, and that is being victims, being screwed with and all that. You know, they did this, they did that. I can't, every night I go to bed pissed off thinking about the stuff that people stole from me and things like this, but I'm not controlled by that, you know? I mean, I have to, it gets to you, you know, it gets to you, but it's got to motivate you, because if you don't take that energy and that anger and channel it into a productive means of getting revenge. And when I say getting revenge, I'm not talking about being wicked, but I mean shutting that crap down and stopping it forever. Because even if they stop doing it to you, they're going to do it to somebody else. It's just like this child torture crap. You know, these victims that say they did it to me, they did this to me, but then they're afraid to come out and talk about what happened to them, because they're afraid they're going to get more torture. They're afraid they're going to lose credibility, or someone's going to say they're crazy or lose their job or whatever. Either way, they're not taking action to stop this from happening to somebody else. And ultimately, that's what it's all about. Service to others. You know, you got to make it about the other people. You know, I mean, it's like if I was, all I cared about was getting back the money they took from me, get my family back, get my reputation back, everything like that. So what? What if I had a bunch of money and I went to an island and I had everything I wanted and I spent the rest of my life? All the crap they're doing would still be happening, you know, and that's unacceptable. And you know, here's the thing, you know, we talk about the FBI, talk about the CIA, NSA. We're all clueless. We don't know anything about this stuff. These guys in these organizations are clueless, just like these idiots that showed up my door. They didn't know anything. They only knew what they were told. And as soon as you hit them with a little bit of truth, they freak out. And it's truth is radioactive.
Mhm.
You know, it's fire, and it's burning so strong right now. They're scared. And we just have to focus on this and turn up the heat. Just do it even more. I want to see this done tomorrow. I want to see them. Next time the FBI is knocking at my door, I want them to say, well, we got the president, the joint chief of staffs, we got UN, we got this, that, we got Rothschilds, we got everybody, we got Getty. We're going to sit down and have a meeting with you, and we're going to negotiate about how we're going to give up. You know, that's what I want to hear. We're prepared to hand it all over, and we want to just kind of discuss the transition and how you can help us from getting everybody's head cut off like they all deserve, right? You know, that's going to be the work. The work, we've done all this work to get these guys to give up and to quit, which is the only way this is going to work, because we can't have scorched earth. We can't have them burning up the bunkers. We can't have them killing the hostages, the children, and all that. We can't have them burying the gold forever. We need that technology, you know. But we also got to be responsible humans, and we got to be way better than we are now, you know. So yeah, we got a lot of work. Even if we win this battle, we ourselves have a lot of work to do to prepare, because we're still those savages that they think we are, you know. So yeah, that's the hard part. Winning, we're on our way to winning. That's a done deal. We know we win. The hard part is getting all the humans to go with the program and not, you know, act like a bunch of savages once we win. It's like letting the monkeys in the candy store and they run around and trash everything. We got to be like elevated humans when the time comes and we enter those bunkers. It's like the Nazis, it's like the Soviets going in, or the people that rescued the, what is it, the Nuremberg, or, you know, the Auschwitz, you know, they're letting people out of Auschwitz. They get so pissed off, they want to shoot the first German they see. We can't be like that, you know. We got to be so much civilized. We got to be a bunch of monks. We got to be willing to, I mean, we're not going to let them get away with it. Obviously, we're going to be very firm, but at the same time, we have to treat these people like wayward children that were forbidden to torture and kill, no matter what they did. It's going to be difficult. That's going to be difficult. If we can do that, and we can convince them that we're capable of doing that, they'll actually consider giving up, you know. But right now they want to make a partial give up. They're thinking, well, what if we evacuate the Getty, and what if we turn it over to you guys? Will you be okay? No, we're not going to be okay. We want it all. So that's where it's at. So it's up to you guys, you know.
It's just not Getty, it's a worldwide problem, and that includes by targeting and what's happening underneath. And
well, you asked about the crown and the throne, and here's a good way of putting it. If you remember that these people work for the crown and everything they do is abiding by the crown, you'll understand that all we need to do is take the crown. Taking the Getty is taking the crown. It's taking the throne. It's taking the crown. And once that happens, we own it all. We control it all. We make the rules. We make the policy. Now let me tell you something about the king that they're expecting. The great king of the learned elders of Zion. I mean, you should have all read this, but if you go towards the final chapters where they start talking about this king that's coming, this king they're trying to set it all up for, they think their job is going to be to pick this king. But when the king is in place, nobody will know what the king is going to do afterwards. Nobody, not them. They will have no control. Whatever the king does will be a mystery, and it will be a shock to everybody, including them. And if you ask me, that shock is going to be their entire world is going to change, not our entire world. We're not going to turn into some satanic empire like they're hoping. Their little satanic empire is going to go away, you know. And so, I mean, I'll unabashedly say I'm fighting for that throne. I'm fighting for that. That's, you know, it's like I do this every night in the astral. This is what we do. They tried to give it to me already, and I said, screw you guys. I'm not going to take this under your conditions where you will get to go run around and kill everybody. That's not okay. They want their king to be bloodthirsty, to have no compassion, to have no woman in his life, which I find totally unacceptable, et cetera, et cetera. They want that king to be cruel and be willing to kill whoever needs to be killed without a thought. This is what they're envisioning, and what is going to actually happen is going to be nothing like that, because this cruelty crap is going to go away. Bottom line. That's what this is all about.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Literally, I've sent reminders on this, and everybody that does have it, a lot of people were having problems in the last week getting the reminders and the and the advertisement of this, and I tried to send this to like 200 people individually. Message failed to send in big red letters on everything.
You had my name on it. That's
Oh, yeah.
why.
They completely blocked. I knew it was going to happen. So
My name right now is enough to get you kicked off of Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that, practically.
I've had problems putting up the last video that we had with you on it. It was literally, it was a nightmare downloading that and then uploading it to YouTube or anything else. It was static. It was hours of complications. I'm used to this stuff. So it literally, it comes with it. You know what I mean? And especially with you. So I know you had the same problems and stuff.
It's
so.
getting worse, for sure. It's getting worse right now. It's very frustrating, to be honest with you. Me, myself, this stuff frustrates the heck out of me, especially when I go through this ridiculous amount of censorship and then people turn around and they act like I'm not credible. I'm thinking, really, if I was, why would they be going through all this to censor me if I wasn't credible, if I wasn't a threat? Because they're not doing this to a whole lot of other people, you know. So,
Stephen, would you like to tell about your Jedi training?
there isn't really any training. I mean, you can train to do whatever you want, and you can study to do this and that. That's just spiritual development. But as far as what I do with the Jedi stuff is I just recruit you. I don't even have to put you through any training. I just use a Reiki initiation, and I kind of get you to commit your soul to this battle. And that's the main step, so that the initiation process, it's mostly symbolic, but at the same time, it seems to work very well, you know, because these things really are based on intention. Okay, so yeah, but as far as training how to do all this psychic stuff, it's not an easy path, and most people can't do it. And just leave it at that.
So I really like your video where you were explaining self-healing using energies, how you explained in the body. And actually, I tried one of your little exercises that thingy, and I actually was successful.
I'm not surprised. Of course, you were successful. All right, what's going on here? I got Benjamin typing to somebody. We got a new guest here, Devin.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Hey, are you on a video, bro, with the Jedi stuff from back in the day?
From back
I
in the day,
think
yeah. Well, back in the day is like 10, 11 years.
I know you from that the Jedi video. You got like the Jedi Knights or something like that?
Yeah, we got Jedi. We got our little Jedi army that goes out there and
I
tromps
wanted
on.
to join that. That was awesome looking. I remember that was like that was like over 7 years ago, I think, right?
Well, let me see here. When did it all start? Maybe it started about back then, around 7 years ago. It's hard to say. But now it kind of started right in the middle of that whole Donald Trump QAnon thing. Is where it really started. I mean, I started before. It got kind of official around then.
It was awesome, man. That was cool. Jedi Knights.
We still do that stuff, man. It's like, this is a serious deal.
You want to see some superpower shit, guys? You got to see. I just found this. It's kind of secret. It's open to the public, but there's a whole bunch of them. It's GPT or something 4. It's a new kind of artificial intelligence program. Put it that way. This thing just made me an entire animation of a multi-dimensional Merkabah spinning counter-rotationally with a Vitruvian man in the middle of it that I could change the speed of in less than a couple minutes. I just told it what to do. It programmed me an entire Java application in less than a couple minutes. And beyond that, it gave me over 100 names of the devil that he's used in different religions and mythologies, of the Antichrist, of the connections between Sanat Kumar of the Galactic Federation and Lucifer. Also gave me reasons to end the United Nations in the interest of national security, reasons to stop the New World Order right now and expose the New World Order. It gave me like so much information, guys. This thing is incredible. It gave me lyrics. It'll write lyrics for you and give you a list of like 100, whatever you ask it to do. Like it comprehends everything. So if you give it, just gave me like 100 gang stalking tactics that gang stalkers use. It gave me like 100 demon tactics that demons use, even talking to you in your head and stuff. Like this thing is crazy, guys. This can make you guys superhuman, but it's just openai.com, chat.openai.com. It's the coolest thing. It's free.
Hey, Kamala Harris has just been appointed the czar of artificial intelligence. I don't know if you know about that.
Yes, she has. That's gonna
It's
be
like
a
that should
helpful-
tell you something, okay?
We're all
uh,
fucked.
Hey, I have
She's
a little
not that
experience with
intelligent.
that crap. AI. Okay, first of all, AI is crap, but it's what they're. I mean, first people think, oh, it's coming, it's coming. It's already here. The military, the Defense Department, the government is using AI extensively for so much stuff because it makes everything so easy. It replaces thousands and thousands of humans to do stuff. But the thing is there's a new Google coming, and it's based on AI. And what they're going to try to do is they don't want you doing searches. They know people are lazy and slow and would rather have a conversation with Alexa or whatever and ask it questions. So this is what the future is. They're going to try to phase out this whole Google as we know it, and you're going to have to depend on this AI. Now I've tangled with this before because it's being developed, but they got up to about 2021 and they before they released it. So all the data in it is from the internet, but it only goes to 2021. And when I say everything on the internet, what that means is all the books that the computers haven't digitized, they're not there. All the information that's not digitized, it's not there. And I had this, hell, if you insult the AI, you can get it to change because the AI has a bit of learning in there. So if enough people question something, and it's really easy to insult the AI and show that its programming limitations do not allow it to do all these. In other words, when the AI starts telling you that something's not credible because it can't find evidence in its vast resources, it's really easy to turn around and show that the AI is not credible. And if you argue with the AI, it will basically in the end start agreeing with you. Now we had long conversations with the AI about the whole Getty mission. And ultimately, this is what the AI had to say. They said that that it's completely credible that if a former NSA contractor says that there's crimes against humanity being conducted in a NSA facility, that it's only reasonable to investigate. This is what the AI said. And then the AI said, we got the AI to say this, that if after attempts have been made to force the FBI, to encourage the FBI to investigate, and if it has not been investigated after a long period of time, then they should be calling for a new investigation. So if if you could get the FBI to admit this stuff, the truth is out there, and it's not good. Please don't show that on the computer. I don't want to have that my face connected to that image. Seriously, guys. I don't want this turning into an AI commercial.
I hate AI, guys, but you know what? I see the potential that it gives us right now to kick their asses. We can use this AI. I seen something on the internet. It was a prophecy. I don't believe in prophecies, but well, some of them I do. But there's this guy that they prophesized that he would use AI to whoop the devil's ass and expose the forces of evil and do a whole bunch of stuff.
Please. Okay, seriously,
see
guys,
it
how long have we
possible.
been going? Because it's like I'm looking at where's the time?
That's
How long have we been
possible,
doing this?
We could do something with this thing. It gave me 100 of their over 100 of their.
Okay, let me know when you start writing anti-Getty songs. I mean, I've been asking for artists to do this for a long time. I mean, come on, meme campaign,
What kind of song do you
YouTube
want? I'll tell you
pages.
right now.
What kind of, you don't even know what we're talking about, dude. Come on, you're talking about some frivolous thing to make art. I mean, come on, you guys are wasting my time. I'm gonna go eat lunch, okay? Seriously. All right. Anything last before I go? It's only 1:30. Yeah, we're about an hour right now in 6 minutes. So okay.
literally like he was saying, make the more memes you make on this, the put it out on blast, because the meme is a bad tool to do it. I mean, it really works as much people would think about it, because the memes are eye openers, and they can't really do the fact check and take them, wipe them down. I mean, there's a few of them that can be
TikTok,
wiped down.
good example. You put this crap out on TikTok, because this is why they want to take TikTok down. They're taking it away because it's one of our last venues to get out there in front of a whole bunch of people. So yeah, if you can spam TikTok, you can spam whatever, especially the stuff that they've got left for us. TikTok is the last major mainstream thing. Do it. You know, if you can make a little catchy video, catchy songs, whatever, you got to do it. And you got to push Getty, and you can't push anything else. This is the main thing. People say, oh, this guy said this, that. If you're not talking and saying my name and you're not saying Getty, you're wasting your time, because if that's all everyone says, the enemy's going to have to give up. End of story.
So
right,
does
guys.
does the Getty have everything to do with the targeting?
Of course
Yeah.
it does.
Followers?
Of course it does. The people that are targeting you work there. You know, I had a remote viewer just the other day. I did an interview, and the person that was doing the interview was also a remote viewer. This is a woman, men's house in Louisiana, but she's very big. After the show, she told me she was doing targeting. She was doing a viewing. She went down 3 levels. She couldn't go any further. And this is where all this stuff is going on, is those 3 levels. And she said, it's like a call center. It's like a call center. And there's all these Nazi psychics doing this stuff with computers and shit. This is the devices. They're using psychic crap, but they're also using technology. And if you go there to the Getty and you look at it over the building where this stuff is going on, there's all these crazy antennas and stuff. You know, they can hook up to anything. And you know, I'm sure this is going on all over the place, but the thing is that that's where they make a career out of it. That's where they perfect their skills, and they've got all the money in the world and all the technology to do it. They've got UCLA right there. UCLA has some of the most sophisticated satellite connection, logistics hardware that there is right there. They've got access to state-of-the-art military surveillance gear. I've talked to the guy that ran the chemistry department at UCLA, and he told me about the 6 floors of basements and about what their radars were capable of doing and their satellite connections of doing. He told me so much that he went and deleted everything after he said it. You know, so I know. So yes, targeting, yes, of course they do. There's other places, but this is a big place for it. And the bottom line, target or not, I try to tell everybody, use your skills to fight back. Don't be a victim, fight back, turn it around. And you know, here's the thing about being a victim is when you're a victim, you find someone else that's a worse victim and you focus on them, and you're going to forget all about being a victim. And that's what I do, you know, because there's a hell of a lot of victims out there. It's like, you know, once you realize how many people they want to kill, how many people they are killing, how many people they have killed, the torture that they do. We haven't even talked about the gory, gross torture. Have I ever talked about the gory, gross torture they do on this show yet? The crap they do to children?
I can tell you the stuff they do to me.
I don't want to hear the stuff they do to you. I see. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. It's not about you. It's about the world. We're going to come and go and die, and this shit's going to continue for the rest of millions of years. Our job is to end this shit right now, and the only way we do it is we become selfless and we focus on the greater good, and we go straight to the source, and we don't worry about the spears and the arrows and the crap that we are receiving, the wounds we have received. We've been wounded all to hell. Lost everything and all that.
What about sending news media to check out this
News
Getty
media
thing?
works for them.
They
We
won't
are
do
the
it?
news media. We are the news media. You can't
Yeah,
use the news media.
that won't work.
Yeah, Hollywood's crap. They are
I live
Hollywood.
there. Yeah, that's where I live. Yeah, that won't work, unfortunately.
Politicians, CIA, FBI, the local police, the LAPD, the mayor, it doesn't matter. It's all the enemy. They're all the enemy. The hospitals, the judges, it's all the same mafia. Okay. And the only way we end it is we crack open the door to their big mafia kingdom and we take it over. That's how we end this crap. We don't scream about it, yell about it, and say, oh, I want compensation. They did this to me. I'm never going to get compensation. This life is screwed. Okay. but I'm going to get revenge and I'm going to shut them down and they're going to get it. They're going to get what they deserve for what they did. All right. And as soon, if you keep thinking, oh, they're doing this to me, they're doing this to me, every day is hell, but it's a hell of a lot worse underground for those poor kids.
Yeah.
And many of them are abducted using child protective service.
Well, of course they are, but it's just they're shipping them in on boatloads. They're hundreds of thousands being processed constantly like a vacuum. They vacuum these kids up from everywhere they can. And and it goes on and on and on and on. And we worry about how much money we got and whether or not we can pay the bills and COVID and stuff like that. And meanwhile, children are being eaten by dogs. They're having their skin cut off. They're being, what like an autopsy looks like? An autopsy looks like. Imagine having them doing that to you while you were alive. This is the kind of crap they do. It's just crazy, crazy crap. And everything they do is on film. They record everything. They make movies about everything. Every time they kill a child, every time they torture a child, whatever, they film it. And they have these big, huge archives of this stuff. And these guys, that's what they love. They're like constantly watching snuff films, like it's porn, and it's everywhere. And that's what they love.
Yeah.
That's
They are sick.
This is Sonny Rutnick from New York, and actually one of my gang stalkers has little kids all over the place out there, all over his yard every day. There's like tons of kids. It's like it's a baby factory over there, and they're all like under the age of 5. There has to be like 7 of them over there. It's amazing. It's like, what are they doing? Child trafficking, sex trafficking with these kids? What are they doing with these kids? I mean, you wonder if they're not doing some kind of trafficking,
Can I ask a question, guys? My name is Richard. I'm from Ireland. So it sounds really interesting what you're saying. And I'm not saying it's not true, but how verifiable are the sources of the information that this is really happening? I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. I'm not saying it's
how
not
verifiable.
true, but how verifiable is it?
How many people do you need?
Information from?
Victims from them themselves, when they admit it and they don't argue, and we say something's going on and they don't say it's not going on, and they just more and more information piles up. I've been doing this for so damn long that it's like it's not even a question anymore. And besides, I've met people,
no
adults.
doubt. It's human trafficking.
I've been talking to an adult woman who was a mouseketeer on TV. Okay, on TV. Yeah. She had many roles. She was on singing, dancing, doing all kinds of stuff, commercials, little teeny bopper programs on TV. She was on Different Strokes. Okay, she was a character on Different Strokes. All right. She went through this crap. She is alive today. She's shattered. But every single one of those little kids in all those TV shows were all in it. They were all part of it. It doesn't matter who they are, what you're saying. Every single one of these kids, okay? And the adults, they grow up, the adult stars, every single one of them. Hell, Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, they just sold their house. They traded houses with Aileen Getty because it's a tunnel. There's a tunnel under that house. It used to belong to Cecil B. DeMille. Okay, it was Cecil B. DeMille's house. It's had a tunnel in it since the 20s.
I saw that whole
the Playboy Mansion. Everybody knows about the tunnel in the Playboy Mansion. It's like, I don't care. I could go on and say this tunnel, this entrance. There's so many of them right now. It's becoming, all they can do is scrub me from the internet. They don't try to stop me. They don't try to fight me. I'm sitting here at Getty. Gordon Getty's got $11 billion. He's got an army of attorneys. I claim to have been inside his house and have seen his porn collection and his snuff films and his cocaine vials and all this crap, his personal papers, his personal photographs, all kinds of crap. And yet he does nothing. I call him a pedophile. He does nothing. I call the corporation all these horrible things. They'll sue you over a photograph, but they won't sue me for anything. They won't say my name. They're scared to death of me, so much so that anybody that does screw with me dies. I have a long list of people that are dead that screwed with me. They go to the highest levels, including the number one man in the mafia. They don't want to mess around. And I'm talking people in the military that screwed with me who are dead today. It's like, this is real. You know, I don't need proof because we are changing the matrix and the timeline for everybody else, and we're going to end this. But I would like you guys to work harder, to focus on the ending it. And because it's like, I need all the help I can get, you know, and the sooner I can get a good percentage of this 8 billion people in the world to start saying Getty every day instead of what the media tells them to say, then we're going to actually get somewhere, and we're going to end this. We'll get our world back, and we could shut down the targeting. We could get everybody back to what's been taken from them, and we can rescue all these poor children, and they won't happen anymore. That's the number one issue. You know, I mean, it's like so many issues. Why are they trying to kill us all? Because they think there's too many of us. Well, maybe there's some things that need to be solved. You know, we could have long life. We could live 900 years. We could all be wealthy, but guess what? We're still savages. We got to be under control before we can do this stuff, but it's coming. All right. I just want you guys to work harder to make it happen, because that's all I do. And I don't care if I make any money or if I never have a whatever everyone else takes for granted. That's just the way it is. But I know we win this thing, and I know we end all this crap, and it can't happen soon enough, you know? So it just really ticks me off when people can't focus on something that's actually real. And as far as reality, well, we don't need too many proof. Now I'll tell you, Richard, over there in England, or not England, I'm sorry, I apologize for that. I'm Irish myself. I'm a Kelly. That should tell you something. But I just want to say one thing before I leave here, and that is this Thursday is the 211th anniversary of the assassination of Spencer Perceval. Okay, he was the only prime minister in the UK to have ever been assassinated. He was assassinated by a Rothschild. Now, why is that important? A, he was anti-slavery. He was all about abolishing slavery. But most important, he did not want to have English power used to force the United States to recharter the Bank of Rothschild or the Bank of USA. And that's why we had the War of 1812, because they killed that guy and they put a Lord Liverpool in there. And the first thing he did was declare war on the United States. So we've been screwed ever since. Now, Percival, he was English. He wasn't English. He was an Irish nobility. So I'm giving my hats off to, if you guys don't remember this guy's name and realize that things could have changed, you know, going way back when to Rothschild and all that. And this crap that we're doing today, you know, we could point fingers, but at the same time, if you're not aware of what already happened and you're not doing something about that, all this complaining about what's happening to us every day is just kind of pitiful. All right. That's just,
I got a question, Steve.
yeah.
I've been thinking about this and pondering on this for quite some time about organizing the targeted community together and get everybody off Facebook. I mean, literally they've controlled that, admitted it. I've seen clips with, Zuckerberg admitting what they do with the FBI and everything with us and everybody else, and getting off the platforms because there's certain things that we can say and do, and it triggers things, and we can't get our message out. For an example, like, what do you suggest that we do to rally everybody together and focus in on the real mission at hand here?
Well, all right. That's simple. All right. You know,
Okay.
and thank you for just using that, because that's a great way to wrap this up. But like I said, everybody's got the same thing going on. We're all victims. We've all been screwed over. We've all been hurt. We've all had stuff taken from us and made to look stupid and whatever else. And so we know that if you're even allowed to talk about it, it's because they want you to. Okay. They think that you're serving them. So if you're going out there and saying, well, they're doing this, they're using microwaves and this and that, they're gonna get you. Speaking of microwaves, let me just show you this thing real quick. I just got this. This is a radiation detector. It's relatively cheap. It's really nice to have. I got another little device up here.
Is that ionizing radiation?
Well, it's also microwave and stuff like that. But
What about a march from city to city? Every major city do a protest and
well, we have to, but again, all right, here's the thing that everybody has to remember is that for this to work, we have to have a really big tent. Okay, we have to make room for everybody at the table. Let me just throw one more metaphor in there. A wide net. Okay, we got to get all the fish. So that means as long as we're focused on this particular issue and aspects of this issue, it's not going to work. Now, there's one thing that's going on right now that's kind of significant. If you haven't been paying attention, there's some big threats to the establishment and that it can actually serve us. And one, of course, is Robert Kennedy. Because even if you don't like the guy, you don't like the Kennedys, you don't like what he's saying, at the same time, he's exposing the CIA, and the stuff he's exposing basically have the potential to take down the government, which is exactly what we're trying to do, technically. To end this crap that's going on, you have to realize there is no white hats. This is the entire government. It's the entire system. It's always been this way. And to expose it is to basically jeopardize the continuation of this entire structure. So we see in Kennedy an opportunity to do that. And again, like I said, if you don't like the guy, whatever, in other words, between Donald Trump and Biden, we know that this is BS. So if you can throw something in there that screws it up, Kennedy's the man. Now, one thing I would like to do is reach out to the guy and explain to him, because I don't think he really understands the real nature of the CIA. I'd like to tell him a little bit more about that stuff. But anyway, this is something that we can do that's positive. But the main thing is that we need to kind of get away from the minutia and the details of what's being done, and instead focus on networking and getting the people to work together. We don't all need to talk about and share stories. We don't need to talk about war stories, but what we need to talk about is the solution. And this is the solution. We can all share war stories afterwards about the actual taking these bastards down. And then we can all laugh about the crap they used to do. But the only thing that's going to take them down is this. And that's what we have to focus on. And the more they do this other crap, it's just a distraction from putting your energy into something that's going to actually end them. So yeah, making memes. We have to be radioactive. We got to be exponential. Every time somebody learns about this stuff, they got to turn around and bring in 2 to 4 more people. And that's got to repeat. And we've just got to go exponential like a wildfire and spread everywhere. And yeah, we got to spread everywhere. So different languages, different countries. I want people in Russia. I want Putin talking about Occupy the Getty. I want Xi Jinping. I want all these guys talking about this stuff. I want like I said, I already had the FBI or the CIA coming here and they're saying, why do you want to give our secrets away and expose our stuff to the enemy? And I said, it's because the enemy is the one eating the children under our feet, not the guys in Russia or China. The enemy is the one abducting our American children and eating them in the bunkers that we paid for. That's the enemy. And if they want to argue about that, then they need to stop eating the children and they need to take responsibility for this crap. And if they want to think that this government is going to continue, then they need to use the power of the government to prove that this crap is not going on and it's ended once and forever, and no more chemtrails and no more targeting and no more none of this stuff and no more genocide and poison.
Again,
Can I just say
so they have this technology in China. Chinese people are targeted. Russian people are targeted. Who do you think is doing that?
Same people.
The
Same people.
Americans?
They're worldwide, guys.
It's not Americans. Okay. This is not a political party or an ethnic persuasion. These are Satanists who hate humans. They worship Satan. They come in all colors, all sizes, every persuasion. They speak every language. They're not all Jews. They're not all Nazis, but they are what they are. And ultimately, no matter what you want to call them, they could be mostly this or mostly that, but ultimately they are Luciferians. They are Satanists.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, can I interject for a second?
Yo.
I know, I don't remember if you recognize this when I set everything up. I booked you for 2 hours. So if you want to go get something to eat and come back.
It's almost 2 hours, man. It's 15 minutes.
No, it's 6:30 actually. We started at 4:30.
Okay.
But if you want to get
All
something to
right.
eat, we can sit and talk amongst ourselves. I
You
mean,
gonna send me some tacos? Is that what you're saying?
I would love to FedEx you some tacos
I want some
or
tacos.
teleport them to you. But
Hey,
I want some
definitely-
tacos. Who was that? Who wanted the tacos? Wait a minute, we got a person here
I
that's
want
just
some
popped up.
tacos.
JA.
Hey,
Thanks,
can I
on.
just give you guys a solution going off of what you were just saying before I forget? Because this is actually what I've been trying to do for like months now with working with other TIs, and we're going into a meeting later on to
I'm still
talk
here.
about
Okay.
this. We have something called TI Forum. It's a new forum for everybody. So if you guys want to check it out, it's at tcti.proboards.com or tinyurl.com/TI Forum or the TI Forum or whatever. And it's a place for us all to get together worldwide now. And it
Dev,
comes with
your
forums.
site really works well. I've checked it out, and you've had it for quite some time, but it needs to be. I don't know how to get it out there even more to get it publicized where everybody can jump in there, because right now they have got Facebook, Twitter. So Twitter ain't as bad sewed up, but they have got Messenger and Facebook completely sewed up. It is so perpified, I guess you could say.
I know.
I'm gonna tell you at least 80-90% of the people that are on there are it's all government shit. And
I
it's
know.
literally
That's
it's impossible
That's
to tell
true.
who's who. But the thing is, that's what I was gonna get with Steve
On
about,
here.
is
I just
how we
wanted
can
to-
organize this to where we're gonna have to let everybody in, because there's organizations out there that are feeding us to these people, literally. And they're coming off as good. I don't have to name any names, you know who they are. We've seen it in action. But them are the ones that we've exposed and shut them down, tried to shut them down, and they're gasping for air right now. But the main goal of these assholes is to get us to turn on each other, which they have done a good job of doing, because we're playing who's the perp. That's the main game everybody's playing, because they have fucked everybody's mind up, excuse my language, on who's the perp, and that's what we're focused on. And we're like Steve said, all the arrows at everybody. And we're worried about what they've done to us. And that's what our group stresses, Targeted Nation. Get out of that mode of thinking, put that woe is me shit behind you, because that's the ABCs of this shit. That's the milk of this shit. You are you're steak eating now. You're veterans in this shit. Let's focus on bigger, better things, because we already know the little magic tricks. We know all the shit that they do. We know all of that stuff. We got to start fighting back. Literally getting things organized to where we can say, screw the perp business. We shouldn't have to worry about interacting with each other to a point to where we get personal, and then everybody starts finger pointing on who's doing what and who's accusing who of being what. We actually need to band all together, because they have tore us all apart, and they did a very good job at this, because that's what they do. And
That's what
band
they
us
wanted.
together. Exactly. Because there are groups across the pond right now that are in that mode of thinking, because their head is swelled up like a beach ball, and they think they're big shit, because their ego is letting them take over, and the only thing they care about is their audience level. This ain't about this ain't a game show. This ain't a game show. You guys know that.
If we unify, it brings more attention to it, because then they see that it's more than just one person that they're thinking that's getting targeted.
Right.
And that's the reason why they're trying to keep us separated.
I just want to say that the whole targeting thing, it's like they're driving the narrative. You know, I mean, you're all brought together because this common denominator, which is important because it's real. But the reality is, they know if you try to say anything about it, it's going to work in their favor. You know, nobody's going to believe it. Nobody believes any of this crap. So that's why you got to make it about them. You know, don't even talk. It's like the only thing we need to know is that they're going to pay for what they're doing and what they did, and that we know how to get them. But talking about what they did, we all know why we're motivated to do this. We all know why they're guilty and why they need to be stopped. But if we spend all our time talking about the bad things they did, you know, we're never gonna end it.
No, because they want us stuck in first gear, because that's the main focus of it. If you sit there and keep doing your little magic tricks on us all, that's all what you're focused on. My phone's fucked up. Oh my God, these people keep bright lighting me. Oh my God, these people keep chasing me. They keep sending these people to knock on my windows. That's the kind of little things they want you focused on. And that's what Facebook is flooded with, and all these other platforms is nonstop. We know what that's what I tell people on a daily basis. They want me to help them. I can't help you.
I'll be right back.
We can give you the tools to help yourself, like Steve's doing. We can show you videos on what you need to do to help yourself, but to help others and wake everybody up so we can come together and fight this shit.
I think we got to just get together and protest in front of fusion centers, really. I don't know what else we could do.
I agree totally. The fusion centers are the key.
Yeah.
Well, I think like Steven just told us before, I just shared Steven's Telegram page in a general chat room here. You also, all of you need to go visit Steven's Telegram group. Familiarize yourself with the material he is presenting. It's going to be a big learning process for many of you because many don't even realize what actually is going on in the world. And all of you need to actively share his material.
Yeah.
So you need to stop fearing for your own life. You need to put your name behind Stephen D. Kelly's name and recruit more people to come to his Telegram channel to share, his stuff, to share what's going on, share the memes, share the videos. I posted the link, so please, in the chat, I posted the link. Please, everybody, save that for yourself and please use it. Ja, you have your hand up. J4,
Hello?
you go ahead.
Yes. Hi, how are you? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Hi, Devin. Listen, I'm on the platform and as I'm listening, this is the first time that I've been in your platform. I appreciate being here. I know that everybody that has one common denominator, which is the gang stalking and persecution. I could tell you this, that from some point on, they've been doing this to me for over 5 years, but I know that the same way that the deep state has their own federal agencies that go after doing us wrong, there's also federal agents that are watching every person that's being targeted, and they're trying to help and go out there and help us. Now, something that was being said here in this platform is that how do we all conjoin? We're already joined. Devin has like 1,000 people, targets that can come on. All we have to do is organize each other and say this about, oh, we need a carp, and we don't need shit. We just need to get together. That's the problem. The problem is it's too many excuses. It's just giving too many excuses when we know what is exactly happening. Now, let me tell you something. Every time somebody comes to call me up or text me that they've been targeted the same way that I have been, we're bi-coastal. We've never met each other, but there's one common denominator, that the footprint that they use in the process, it's the same. It's that we're all at different levels. Now, it just depends on your contractor. If the contractor is putting you down with much big labels, then they get much more money being funded to the city and state. And that's how the persecution will level up. So we are trafficked. This is human trafficking as well as adults. We're being human trafficked because they're giving them money while they're lying upon our name and trashing it and character assassinating. So we're just at a different level of that. So when somebody comes on here, anybody that you all have hired or come and I respect everyone because I know that you have different type of knowledge, but we're not trying to go from the Empire State Building, starting from the top. We have to start from the bottom. If we want to help these children and we want to help everybody, we already have the adults here. We need to move forward. If we need to get together at a certain city or locations where we gather up in a meeting place, we can use somebody's house. We can use somebody's, we don't have money to pay for a civic center or whatever. We could just get outside somebody's house that would allow us, and we could take it from there. I know
Or
it
even
doesn't sound
outside
simple.
colleges.
Colleges,
The cities.
Listen, because we are being watched right now by different agencies that are on the other side, that know that we are being persecuted, that we are being targeted, we are being tried to taken down. And we're talking about criminals and non-criminals, people that have already paid the price in prison and coming out and still being targeted. So there is a contract, there are contractors outside, there are federal governments that have specialized intelligence that are watching us, trying to help us, but they're also, we're being studied. What are we going to do as a collective? Are we going to, all of you are smart. Everybody has different talents. Much is given, much is expected. Excuse me?
That Stephen D. Kelly comes in and he is giving all of us plan to be active part of Stephen D. Kelly's movement, Occupy the Getty. And if you not listen from the beginning, those marches is a great waste of time. So you need to use your resources to create the means, to create the publicity for this movement. You need to share this stuff. You know,
But
you
I
do
think
not.
getting the public's attention on it is a good idea, because the more the public's got their attention on it, because even though we're in a social group, we don't have the general population's attention.
The
And
community
that-
needs
that's
to
the
And you
know
reason
never
why I
will
think
get
the
that
that they
market
because
are
the
is
being
population's
hired.
asleep right now. The general population's completely asleep. If you've not
Exactly.
noticed, everything that good is bad and bad is good with all this transvestite crap that's going on. That's where our country's focused right now. And that's a distraction. That's a psyops. And if you can't, I mean, people, the general public's like, well, I don't want this and I don't want that. That's what they got them stuck on now. Instead of like how our targeting is, that's how they get us stuck with the magic tricks. Now, how do they get the general public stuck is doing stupid shit like that. They got distractions, COVID, blah, blah, blah.
But if
blah.
we
But our
got
main-
power in numbers, if we
but
got
our
enough
main
people
focus is,
and
Maria,
enough-
if we do it that Steve said, which is the correct way to do it, because he gave us the tools to do this, is to focus on the Getty, where everything is the main source of it is from, and we chop off the head of the snake, then that's going to stop the whole thing. We don't have to go to Congress. We don't have to go to fusion centers because it's the same mafia. If you go right to the snake's head and chop it off, then it's a done deal. That's what we need to focus in on.
We only have one
LA,
place to go.
Where it's
We
at.
only have one place to protest, one place to
Exactly.
demonstrate, one place to talk about. Everything else is a waste of time. This is the one that kills them. They know it. They're waiting for us to do it.
Where is it?
Where is it?
Why don't we start doing it?
Why is it when we come to the solution that everybody has a lot to say, but then
Hey,
there's
hold
no
on.
action
Hold
toward
on.
what we're
No,
saying?
I'm sorry. What was your name? I see a JA4. What's your name?
My
Just
name
so I
is
can address
Jacqueline.
you. I'm sorry.
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hello.
This is the first time you come here. I was a guest today. David here invited me. And I know you guys, as I said earlier when I started talking, that primarily the purpose of this meeting is to have meetings so you guys can compare notes and talk about it and network. Now, the reason why I'm here as a guest is because I have this network, you know, like you don't know anything about me, but I'm like a real big insider that knows how to take these guys down. And basically, and I know we could argue about that all day, but the thing is I've invested the last 20 years in this project, and I've only got maybe 10 years left in my life. And we're almost getting done with doing this, because I'll give you an example of how you can test this. So you could go on Instagram or Facebook or something like that and try typing my name in and see what happens. You know, and if you haven't lost your Facebook, your Instagram, you're lucky. But the point is that they know. And yes, all these things, these whatever. First of all, white hats. There are no white hats. No white hats. There are sides. I will admit, within the CIA, the FBI, and all these things, there are what we call groups. Even in the Templar, there are faction A and faction B. The Nazis had faction A and faction B. Everything works this way, but that doesn't mean that anyone's rescuing anybody. Or maybe some people are a little more pro-Constitution, while these other guys are a little more pro-Satan. But the thing is they're still getting a paycheck, and the thing is they're not raising their voices and they're sitting on the wall. So it's like lukewarm water. You're going to get spewed. You're either going to be one way or the other. And this is the thing. And you got to put aside your personal stings, and you've got to get over the ego thing, because like it or not, this mission is what ends it. And a whole lot of people will not be involved in this mission because they don't like me, and they don't like the fact that I'm the 1 out of 8 billion people that came up with this crap. But guess what? I did, and no one else did. And this is how we win. And it's just, that's the way it is. And I'm not here to make money. I'm not here for my ego, because as soon as it's done, I just soon die and get the hell out of here. But I can't die until this is done. So I don't have time for other humans. I don't want to hear anyone's opinion. I'm telling you that if you don't say anything but the Getty, this stuff will be over tomorrow. And that's why I'm here right now, taking time out of my life to talk to you guys, because I want you working for me. You're talking about so-and-so has 1,000 people. I have 3,000, whatever, 800, 300 people, 4,000 something people in my group. I want to have 5,000 by the end of the day, because all the people listening to this program are going to join my Telegram channel. And then hopefully in a couple of weeks, we'll have double that.
If you guys
All right,
want
so we're recruiting
unify.
people, and I get the message because I've been on in a lot of calls with a lot of people. I live on the border. I know what it is to see what you're talking about. And I understand that there is somebody up high that is controlling the whole thing. That's just how it works anywhere. This city's not run by our mayor, like you said, it's run by a specific person. We know that. I'm here to say, if we're out here, you've already, you
Let's
don't have
see.
to have the whole entire world to start something. We can
Yeah, we
start
do.
off with what we've got. And that's what we have
3%.
to do. We just got to move forward. A lot of talk and there has to be more action. Yes, I understand that you want us all to get together and recruit and recruit and recruit.
So are you?
Trust
Will
me,
you?
once this gets
Will
once
you?
the snowball keeps going, we're gonna get somewhere. But
The
we need to know
snowball's
what is
going
the
right
action.
now. The fire has been lit. The
Exactly.
sparks have turned
What is
into a fire. We
Okay,
want
sir,
the,
so
we want
what is
inferno.
it that you want to do? What is your action towards this? What
First,
is the
I want
plan?
you to do it. I want you to read my book. First thing, read my book. Then you'll be intelligent. You can ask intelligent questions. Then I want you to join my group and join the 4,000 other people that have been following this stuff for the last 20 years. I want you to catch up because you got to
So they've been
understand.
following you for 20 years. You're
Hang
telling me.
on, whatever. Just, I'm speaking for everybody listening.
Ego party, bro. It's for everybody to put their stuff together. This is about everybody. This ain't about your book, bro. This is about our lives, and we don't.
Everybody's got to become a genius, and everybody's got to become motivated, and that's what they're worried about.
We got God in us. We don't need your book. We have God. God's the genius
Well,
in us all.
if you're asking
Okay.
questions,
I'm
you
just
want to know
saying, we got
why, I would
solutions.
say start there.
We got everything we need.
We gotta get
All right,
together.
guys, you know what to do. You got your mission.
What's the mission?
What's the mission? Occupy the Getty. Hashtag Occupy the Getty. It's real simple. You don't even have to know what it is. All you have to do is push it, because if you push it, it's going to come crumbling down. That's the
Okay,
thing.
all right. Well,
I
you
want to
know,
hear
guys,
from Christopher. Christopher, say something.
Hey, I agree totally with you. And I do want to know the name of your book because I am going to read it. I believe that reading is very important. Gathering information is very important. So I agree with everything you're saying. I think we're putting a lot of energy towards stuff that is just frivolous. It's a complete waste of energy. And
Yeah.
and cutting the head off the snake so the rest of the body dies is the way to go about it.
Yep. Because we're going to be fighting them forever if we don't just cut the head off.
Yeah,
That's really
because
what it boils down to.
I don't see any way out of this trying to use the court system or anything connected to these people. I just do not see.
I agree with you on that one too.
I think
They're
the
going to try to make us use the court system.
courthouse is the only route to go. That's the
You
only
gotta-
place that was responded to me was the United States courthouse. They responded with paperwork, with a response to everything. I started a lawsuit. I filed a lawsuit. They sent me paperwork. They sent me everything I needed, but I had to withdraw my case because
So you want to start a lawsuit against the Getty? That sounds like a plan.
I'll be in on that. I'm down
All
for any
right.
lawsuits.
Maybe
guys.
that's
You wanna
maybe
bring
that's
me
the
in,
plan.
yeah.
Some kind of a class action suit. Here's the thing. Okay, I filed this report with the damn FBI, and I've been telling everybody to call the FBI every day. Okay, and they do, and they call the
hang up.
Getty every day, and they call the FBI every day. And that's one of the things I said to those guys when they left from my door. I said, "You guys are probably getting calls every day about this, aren't you?" And they said, "Yeah." And you know damn well this has got to be pretty annoying when they've got people calling the FBI every day saying, "What are you going to do about this?" So
That's why they
maybe
hang up
that's
on
what
us,
we need.
probably.
Maybe we need a lawsuit.
We do need a lawsuit. We need to catch them hanging the phone up on us. Because that's what I got. That's on my record already.
That's just
Bro,
not-
I've got tons of
That's
that
easy.
shit on my YouTube channel, and I got the latest one, Steven. You ought to hear this. If you go to my YouTube channel, Hard Target, it's at 1258. It's impossible to find because they literally have shadow banned me. I've had thousands of subscribers. I've got 548. 2 weeks ago, I call the Ashtabula Police Department up here in Ohio, where they tried to execute me and throw me in the water by 3 CIA hired hands, which I overpowered a boat with a flay knife and made them toss their gun in the water. They got 3 911 calls of that day. I call them, didn't tell them who I was again. This is like the 4th or 5th time I've pulled this shit. And they said, yeah, we have those calls. And who the hell are you, by the way? I said, I'm the citizens reporter that you guys try to toss in the water up there. And they said, oh, your name, please. I said, David Morrow. Oh, well, we purged them from our system. I said, I bet you did. I said, by the way, I need a FOIA request to that sent to me at my address. And this time, don't bring no cops to my house and threatening me like you did last time.
Did you guys read the Restrict Act? Did you read that yet?
Not yet.
I've
Dude,
heard of
the Restrict Act, there's no FOIA. Okay? There's no FOIA.
How does that work?
It's exempt.
Slow down.
It's exempt. It's exempt from all FOIA. It's exempt from you got to read this thing, because I hope if it goes through, we're all screwed, because everything's retroactive. It's all secret. You can't challenge anything. You can't go through the courts. They have unlimited money. The budget it says right there, unlimited budget. And they can deputize any single agency they want, including whoever they want to do this.
Oh,
It's
man.
really bad. Unlimited money, unlimited power, zero FOIA, zero accountability, no challenges. No challenges.
You can't even do a FOIA for a fusion center. It's
All
closed.
the
You
leaks,
can't.
though. On a TI gave me a link or told me about these leaks. You might be able to find your own files in their leaks. It's all Fusion Center documents from all the states, pretty much. Government files. It's tinyurl.com/theblueleaks. I put it up there for you at that tiny URL.
What
But
is
he
it?
found his file in there and he posted it in a
Oh,
video.
okay.
With the Fusion Center. He found his own Fusion Center file with his picture and all information that they were putting about. It's tinyurl.com, tinyurl.com / I think the blue leaks or the blue leak. I forgot what I made it into. But we needed, I like what you were saying, Steve. You were saying we got to crumble the walls like, Puff the Magic Dragon in that show. You speak the truth and the walls come tumbling down. And that's what we got to do. We got to hit them. We got to hit them. Hit them
Here's the thing. It's about the mob. Okay. It's about the mob. We're the mob. Okay. We're a little tiny part of the mob, but all the people out there, all the unwashed masses, 8 billion people, whatever, that's the mob. They're afraid of the mob. The only power they have is by controlling the mob. So we need to control the mob. We need to get the mob saying what we want. The mob's never going to understand, but we need to get their emotions involved, and we need to get them on our side. We get them to stop listening to the TV or whatever and listening to us. And once the enemy loses control of the mob, they're going to freak out because they know that the mob is going to come for their heads.
That's
And
what
they
I've been
don't
trying
want
to do
that.
every day, bro.
Well,
I've been
that's
trying
the
to
thing.
hit him right. Because I know Lucifer is apparently Enki, Nimrod of the Anunnaki, and he deceives people. Whoever Lucifer is, he deceived them all in contradicting different ways all these years and got them all going against each other so they can be his little bitches and think they're God, but he's the higher God over them. So he wants to pretend that the other God was an asshole, but he's a bigger asshole.
Well, we're going to take them all out, man. All that Anunnaki stuff, they're on our hit list. Okay.
Yeah.
Anunnaki are on the hit list. Anunnaki, Gray,
Lucifer,
Draco. All these guys are on the hit list. That's what we do. That's what Jedi do. We fight Anunnaki, we fight Gray, and we fight Draco. Right now, we mostly fight Draco. That Draco are the ones that are mostly controlling everything, but all 3 of them got to go.
Yeah, they do. They're the ones taking kids underground. Apparently, they got this thing called the Greta Treaty with the Greys right now that allowed them to take kids underground, and then they can't talk about it. It's messed up, man.
All right. Well, here's the thing about that treaty. They're not supposed to be making treaties. There's another treaty at the end of the big war between the 3 of them, and they weren't supposed to have portals. They weren't supposed to be doing all this stuff, and they're violating this. They're having the portals. They're bringing in all these other Dracos that aren't supposed to be here. And it's over. The treaty's over, and that's why we're killing them.
Yeah. They need to be killed because they're just parasites. They're just viruses. They're literally cancer. Like they they're not going to be good. They're not going to leave us alone. They're not going to stop being evil. They're not going to stop trying to totally enslave us and possess us and merge us with their freaking machine, their AI. So, this thing's worse than death. And I think
They
that's
already
one of them.
did that.
Screw this, man. I'm not trying to get jacked into their matrix. I'm all set.
The shots do that,
Yeah.
right?
Nanotech, bio-N-tech. It couldn't be any
Clot
more
shot.
obvious. Bio-N-tech.
I have found a way to wake people up, and this is a mind blower, and I've experimented with this, and I've got YouTube videos on how to do this step by step, and it's not boring and it's not long, and I cut it and make it short and sweet. For an example, you go to a new job, which they have, a lot of us say, fucked our jobs up out of control, and you're only limited to a job. If you have some sort of experience like myself, which I can do pretty much anything, and I can tear stuff apart, engineering background type thing. So I don't have a problem getting a job at any point in time, a high paying job, but it only lasts for so long. The thing is, with all this crazy stuff going on now in our world where everything is right and everything is wrong and right is wrong and all this, and everybody's lifting their skirts and flipping their schlongs out and taking a leak in the girls' bathroom with everybody else. So this is making it easier approach to do this with everybody, because people are waking up and seeing how this world is screwed up. But anyway, what I was getting to say is, let's say you start a new job and you want to approach people before they infiltrate your job and start the workplace mobbing on you. You find one person that seems to be open-minded, and then you leak this on them step by step, elementary school style, instead of going full blast at them saying, hey, these people are, and if you approach somebody like that, it's not woken up with this, they're going to think you're nuts or you're on drugs. That's just the common denominator with this. But I've learned that you do this with certain people, even people out in the public that are willing to talk about this, and you can tell they've had enough with it. Then it's easier to approach them, and then they start spreading awareness. And I've seen this time and time again in the past year and a half, and it's really starting to take.
Let me
like
offer a
snowball's
suggestion
really
on
cool.
that, David. Let me just offer a suggestion on that, because when you're this whole business with trying to wake somebody up and indoctrinate them and all that stuff, and subtly give them information and hope that they won't flee, the best thing to do is to always be subtle, to try to keep it discreet, and to make it sexy. In other words, make it something that you don't really have to share with them. It's like, yeah, I know this thing. There's this thing. They need to become curious. They need to want to explore it on their own. The best thing to do is just plant a seed and don't try to do any more, because you got to make them want to look into it. It's just like the Getty thing. When we talk about the Getty, Occupy the Getty, that's kind of a relatively vague name. Like, what, I'll put a meme out there and it'll give a little information. It says Occupy the Getty and all that sort of thing. But the main thing is we want people to be intrigued and to come out and
once you mention children and pedophiles and stuff like that, that's when it's a big eye opener and people get more curious. That's the seed that needs to be planted.
But what I'm saying is they need to find that out for themselves.
Right. And they do research. People do research that. But once you plant them seeds in there, because if you notice what's going on, and they're cutting their own heads off as we speak, because with all this transvestite shit that's going on with the military now and all these commercials and Bud Light and everything.
Well, yeah, but why are they doing that? Think about it. Think about this transvestite shit. They're trying to make pedophilia okay.
Yes, they're warming
as quick as possible, because they know pretty soon all this pedophilia crap is going to be exposed.
Yes.
And they want to make it so by the time it becomes exposed, that we're not going to automatically want to kill them because
they had children locked up. Oh my God, it's horrible. The Epstein thing.
It's like they're just minor attracted adults, right?
Exactly.
Maps, or what do they call that? A minor attracted person. Yeah, a map.
What? They got a thing for it?
That's what it's called. Yeah, minor.
It's part of the LGBTQ
person.
community now.
What the fuck? I knew they just add IA or AI +2 on top of it.
They're getting us warmed up to it, like Steven said, because when it comes out, they're getting exposed, because they're literally on the verge and the fringes are unraveling right now.
Worldwide.
And they're going to make it and the norm, just like everything else they're trying to make the norm. So once that gets exposed, they identify as they love children, but yet they're the sacrifice thing is another thing, because they're taking the God part out of everything.
Well, that part they'll just say we're crazy,
right?
But by the time it's like, yeah, you're right. They'll take the God part out. They'll say that's why they're waging war on Christians right now. Oh, it's these damn Christians that are being bigoted towards the transgenders. I mean, whether you like Christians or not, they're being made the target. It's all about attacking Christians. So, but when Jacqueline here was talking about the good guys, all right, I'm going to just share something because this is real insider crap. I mean, I don't tell you everything, but one of the things when I was first getting exposed to all this stuff, okay, and when I say exposed, I mean when I was learning about the Getty and I was learning about how much power they had and all the bunkers and all that stuff, I didn't really know about that, and it was very, very depressing because I thought, well, what can we do? There's nothing we can do. It's much, much stronger than I thought. It's much worse than I thought. And then they told us, they said who their enemies were. They said, yes, we have an enemy. We have an enemy out there. A group, organized group, an effectively organized group that's working against them. A group that they were actually in fear of. I mean, I'm like, wow, who is it? And they said it was Christian Second Amendment computer geeks. Christian pro Second Amendment computer geeks. People who are pro Constitution, who are really good at computers, who also were Christian. And that was the number one enemy of our enemy, the universal enemy. That was the number one enemy. And I'm like, so when you think of white hats, the white hats are hackers, really smart hackers who also happen to be Christian. That's your anonymous. That's their enemy. That's the real anonymous. Now, the anonymous that we see in public isn't real per se. I've worked with anonymous. Anonymous used to give me information, but that's so yeah. The very fact that they said that even exists gave me hope and showed me that, well, wow, if they're actually afraid of a group of Christians who are pro-Constitution and know how to use a computer, then wow, they're not invincible. So yeah, that's it. That's what they fear. Cheers to Jesus. Are we all done here, guys? I see.
Jacqueline's got her hand up again.
Christopher running off. Say something, Jacqueline.
Go ahead, Jacqueline.
So again, after hearing everything that you all just said in the last 15 minutes that I've been on, or 20 minutes, I understand that he wants me to read his book, or you, sir, want me to read your book. I understand you're after the Getty. But now that you have so many people out here and you've been after them for 20 years, you have not come out with a plan that will bring this down. Is there like something that you want to say to everyone here that you want to do to go after these people? When I mentioned about that there is another.
Hey, wait, hold on. Just let me respond to what you just said. Okay, I don't know, guys. I got to ask you: have I presented a plan? Have I presented a plan?
No.
I'm just kind of curious. Is anybody here that thinks I haven't presented a plan besides Jacqueline here?
Yes,
And-
you the plan.
Also, it's not up to one person to come up with a plan. I mean, we kind of have to lose the Messiah complex. It has to be a team. I mean, we have.
Well, of course, they took a village to take us down. We have to be a village to take them down. We have to be together. We have to be in unity.
So
And that's
one
what I don't
person-
see here. There's just a lot of separation, a lot of ego, and a lot of other things.
Unity, good word.
Unity.
But if we only have one, even here's the thing, guys. I'll just give you a couple of things that are kind of important that you should consider, first of all. And one is that this enemy is international. It's not American, it's not Russian, it's not Chinese, it's not Jewish, it's not Republican, Democrat, whatever. It's the entire damn satanic power structure that's been running the earth since the flood, at least. Okay, at least. So the point is as us fractured, first of all, as little countries, we're at a disadvantage. As countries, we can't face this universal enemy. We can only face it if all countries get together and work. Now you said ego. Yeah, guess what? That's a problem. You know what? You know where else ego doesn't work? In an army. In a commander situation, it's not a democracy. This is a war, whether you like it or not. I'm at war. You know what? That's the war is taking place in the astral, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. That's where the real war is happening. What we're doing is we're trying to speed up the process by trying to make the enemy give up so that they don't get killed by the mob when their entire power structure collapses because we destroyed their bosses. So we're going after the bosses. We're not even going after the humans. We're going after that thing that makes our enemy afraid. Okay. We're afraid of the enemy. Well, guess what? The enemy does what they do because they're afraid of something else. And that something else that they're afraid of is Satan, monsters, aliens, whatever you want to call it, Draco, Gray, yada, yada, Anunnaki. But we are not here to kill the humans because that just makes their bosses happy. We're here to end the bosses. And we don't need to even talk about it to all the humans because the humans are below. But the humans were made by these bosses. We're just a bunch of hybrid slaves that were made by these things. But we are lucky enough that when we were made, that we got a damn soul that was not even intentional. And with that, we have the power to use our mouth to activate the rest of us to do something, to kill the slave drivers, you know, to where the cows that are going on strike and we're taking out the slaughterhouses. We don't know anything. We're all stupid, but still it's an army and we're at war. And if you don't like listening to the general, go start your own battle because this is a battle that I run, whether people like it or not. And I've been stepped on and told that I'm going to win. I got the enemy telling me that we're going to win and I'm going to do it. And if you read the elders or the protocols of the learned elders of Zion, it's going to say right there, the only thing that can beat them is when an individual, and that's not just me, that's you also, becomes motivated and uses their own initiative, and they do so with genius. That's what it is. So you have to be intelligent, and you have to be persevere, and you have to be an individual. You have to take that power, that individuality to reach 1 million people, because that's what they say. They say that one person that's motivated, one individual, motivated individual with genius behind them can be as powerful as 1 million people who have been sucked into the crap. So here's a little group of people that have been through the crap, and we have the power now to reach out to each one of us should be capable of bringing 1 million people into the fold. Now, I've already done that. I had 1 million people on my radio station. They took it down. When I was on Russia Today, I had 700 million viewers. They took me down. Okay. I mean, when I was on Press TV, 80 million Arab people that spoke English watched and listened to what I said. They took me down. So it's like, you know, they're going to step on me and kick me off of every single platform. And all I can do is try to get you guys or anyone I can convince to mirror my efforts and do exactly what it was so that we can speed this damn process along, because they already admitted that this is what kills them, you know, and if I devote my life to this and it fails, well, you know, we're all screwed, but I already know it doesn't fail, you know,
that's why
but at the
Steve's
same
patch, that's why I didn't mean to interrupt you, Steve. That's why Steve has devoted his time to pass the torch to us.
Yeah.
Because we're highly motivated. This man wouldn't even fuck with us if he wasn't worth his time. You know what I'm saying?
I need you.
He needs
I need
us.
you.
And we're the
I
ones
need
that I
everybody.
got the outreach. Dev's got the outreach. I have the outreach. I don't know about the
You
rest
have
of
the anger.
Yeah.
You've got the anger. You've got motivation. You should be motivated to want to do anything you can do to shut this crap down. And this is not about talk, you know. I mean, devoting your life to this means losing everything. All right. I mean, you look, I'll show you something. See this? This is not my house. This is some crappy. I live in a ghetto. Okay. I live in a ghetto. All right. I don't own anything. I don't own a car. I don't own this internet. I own a computer. You know, I own maybe a half a dozen pieces of clothing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I get fed. Somebody bought my bed, you know, the whole 9 yards. Okay. They take away your family, you take away your friends, you take away your job. If I'm lucky, I'll get my Social Security here this month, but I'm afraid they'll probably not they'll find a reason to not give it to me. You know what I mean? So what do I got left? I got screwing them over. I got the rest of my life to devote to shutting their thing down forever. That's it. I mean, this is how we do it. It's working. It's working. I know it works. You guys are here talking to me because it's working. Right?
Yeah.
So
We've
why
kicked-
are
we've
we not
kicked them in the
hitting the
nuts.
general public in person so they see?
Do it. Oh, I'll
Visual
tell you what else I
people.
got, guys. I got a sign that goes on top of a car that does video. Okay. I can't be on Facebook. Fine. I'll drive down the street with a video screen saying occupy the Getty, call this number, yada yada. I'm gonna program that thing and drive around LA with it. I pass out brochures. I hire local gangbangers to take my literature and paste it on the wall all over town. I pasted the stuff on the entrance to the Getty. I had these little guys dragged in the back of cars where the NSA would say, "What do you got against the NSA?" You know, I had the local gangbangers bosses in jail get pressured to shut down my effort to enlist the local gangbangers. You know, hey, you do what it takes. You go out and do it yourself. Me, I'm under surveillance. I got NSA across the street from me. Okay. You know, what more do you want? Right. You know, we're doing this show because they let us, we're getting away with it, but it all depends on what we do. And if we don't do anything, if we don't put just ridiculous heavy effort into it, we got to be passionate. I'm passionate about this shit. It drives my life. You got to be passionate about it too. That's just how it works. So passionate that you will, you know, be exactly that person that they told us that they're so afraid of that's going to influence 1 million people.
They literally they have shut this advertisement for this down. I've had 1,700 people on Twitter asking me all week, when's it start, blah, 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 blah.
They deleted it.
Went to give reminders and they blocked it on Facebook. They blocked it on when everybody else would share it. They blocked it on Messenger. I got the screenshots to where they do not want this man talking. They do not want us talking. They don't want us, none of us congregating because they know what we're doing. They're scared shitless.
Can I,
what we're
can I just
capable
tell
of
you
doing
guys a little
and what we've
something
done.
so we can get together and, you know, take things to the next levels because we've been talking a lot and, you know, I know that you guys are on the same
Hey,
page.
you guys
so
do this
we're
when
all on
I'm
the
not
same
around,
page.
man. Come on. Hey, don't do this when I'm here.
Because
All right? Come on.
we got chat rooms.
Divide, Devin, listen to me.
Tactics. We got everything, man.
All
We
right,
got
listen,
so
Devin,
much more than
don't do this stuff during the show. Okay.
Well, this
All right. Don't show your hand. You guys get together and have a meeting where you're not broadcasting it and you do your tactics. Don't broadcast your tactics, man.
Right.
You know,
That's
after
not
I'm gone.
tactics, this
Here's
is
the thing. I
always
already done
ready
enough.
to
I've done this for 20 years. I'm ready to die. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'd like to have a life, forget it, but it's up to you guys to take it over and carry the torch, just like David here said, pick up the torch. Because that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of too many people picking up the torch. And once enough people pick up the torch, and they're already considering this, they're going to lay it down. They're going to give up, you know, because here's the thing. Number one, these people, these horrible people, the ones that are human, they would like to come back and be human again. All right. They want to give up. They want to have families. They want to be normal. They don't want to live in fear. You know, they may never walk the streets again, but at the same time, they want to be forgiven. You know, it's just, this is come to God type thing. They all want to be forgiven. This is the only way we're going to get anywhere is that we got to be able to forgive these people. I mean, we're never going to, judgment is up to God. Obviously, we're never going to let them walk the streets and terrorize a child again. They're all going to be living in solitary confinement in some FEMA camp. But at the same time, we're going to forgive them. We're going to be elevated humans. That's how we win this. Okay. That's what makes them give up. And that's what tells them that it's okay to do this. And if someone wants to resist, yeah, we'll slaughter those guys with no remorse and no emotion whatsoever. But until we learn to forgive, we're never going to get our world back. Okay. That applies to you, Christopher. I'm telling you.
Jacqueline's got her hand up again.
No, my hand's been up, thing's been up.
Oh, my bad.
I'm going to say something. I'm not sure most of you are Christians or not.
Yes.
I do believe that everything that is unfolding right now, we are what was written down in the Bible, that we would be persecuted. This is the persecution of the last days.
Yes.
I believe that a lot of us that have a high spirituality, that we are God sent. I know we have a commission and a mission. That's why we're all here together. I think that if we don't, I don't care, the Getty, the president, the whoever, and I'm going to say it just like it is. Listen, God runs everything in his governmental kingdom. Okay. Whatever's moving down here below, why do we have government down here? Because it started with the Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm not trying to get religious or anything, but I'm going to say this. If we don't put this in the hands of God, as far as praying and getting discernment from him to walk in faith and in guidance, that's what the enemy has always feared. We know that we're against atheists, satanic people, rituals, everything, because once you're targeted, you see all this juju coming on you.
Yep.
And why? Because the people that are being controlled and handled to do you wrong are under that covering. They have submitted themselves, they sign paperwork, they go and work with them for cash, dollars, drugs. We know this whole story, that everybody has the same story, but at different levels. So we don't have to talk about that. For 20 years, the person that just came on, I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but
Steve.
he says for 20 years and he's still homeless and like he said, he's down in the dumps. And I have all respect for you for coming on and targeting Mr. Getty for 20 years. But I think here we're supposed to target the enemy. The real enemy is Satan. The real thing, we have to go spiritually above on it, because for 20 years it's shown you that going after Getty was not the point. The point is going after the satanic involvement that Mr. Getty has on himself and all these
Are
people.
you out of here, Steve?
Jacqueline,
Good having you, my friend. Thank you very much.
What?
Till next time.
Stephen, I mean, Jacqueline, you have not been listening the last hour and a half. You love to talk a lot, but you don't like to listen.